wearing a jacket a little bit ago. I was wearing one of these. Costco, $10.
It's cold, huh?
Nah, not really. It was for like, I was up like at 6 and I was outside and it's been warming up. I got my new yacht. So I've been out on the yacht. I was swimming in the lake yesterday.
Nice.
Not really.
Sounds like a good weekend.
Ski boat, but call it.
No cigar this morning?
No, maybe later today. Later today. Look at this.
I like it.
Potato. Yeah, well, we'll smoke a cigar later today. Let's try to make some money. And
we got to make money.
Yeah.
I had a parlay yesterday. I hit a football bet yesterday. Nice little parlay 3-teamer. I had the
How much?
Not much. I bet $100 and won 600.
Oh, dude, that's like buying a weekly option for earnings.
I'll show you. I'll show you what I did. It's kind of cool.
Let's see. So what are you gonna do with the 500 profit?
Oh, I just keep rolling it, dude. It's early days. That's a fun money. That's a slush fund. You know, the goal is to make a few grand.
What do you do it on?
I think I made like five. Last year I made like $5,000. Oh, yeah. Wow. So I had the Cowboys -7. I had the Jets -1, and then I had Cincinnati over Atlanta -6. Cincinnati just blew them out. They're coming into form now. So this is a kind of a fun time of year. So the cool thing about parlays as they relate to trading is they have like a really skewed risk reward. You see, I risked $100 to win $600. Now I had to get every one of these correct. You see that? To get paid like that. But I got paid 6-1. So if you just bet $100 3 times, you would have made $300.
That's a big payday.
Advanced math, my friend. Make them even more juicy. You can do money lines. You can get 2-1, 3-1. And so it'll be like 2 times 6. It'll be like 12-1 on a 3-team parlay if you have a 2-1 money line. We can get into it. I'm using my math all day long. I'm using it everywhere. But yeah, I use it on Sundays too. Why do
you think that? Because I'm down like 40 G's in DraftKings and Penn. Why do you think they're so bad?
Say that again.
Why do you think the DraftKings and the Penn are so I have them. I'm down like.
Is there Kathy Wood? They're Kathy Wood type stocks. I think that I know that she has DraftKings, right? So DraftKings is like one of her stocks. I think if you're tainted by Kathy and you're in that portfolio, you're automatically getting smashed all the time. So I think once that stench is kind of removed, long term, the stock's going to be great. I think the company's going to be great. They're making moves with like ESPN. You can't watch ESPN on Sunday morning without them talking about bets.
That's how I feel like. I feel like every time I watch anything sports related, it's DraftKings, it's betting. It's all, basically legal now and everything.
Everybody wants to make money, Lance.
And you know why they want to make money?
Just like us.
They want to make money doing this on the phone, drinking coffee, not having to get dressed up, going to an office. They want to make money sitting in their home.
Money never sleeps, dude. Money never sleeps. What were you saying?
I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, I want to make money. Like I was watching the TV. I was like, I want to make money on my phone. I don't want to fucking go to an office and work. I was talking to this chick. So I created my online dating profile, right? And I have my settings from like 20, 22 all the way to like 45. Maybe even like 49. So I meet these chicks and I don't care how attractive some of them are. Their lifestyle is so boring, some of them. Like I met this girl who works at a credit union, right? Her hours are basically like 8 to some days till like 6:30. So I was like, what do you do all day? She's like, oh, I work. I go, do you go out to lunch? She's like, I only have an hour. I really can't go out to lunch. So like Monday through Friday, she doesn't do anything. She's like, I'll go to do laundry, like I'll cook dinner. And I'm like, it's so boring of a lifestyle, right? Stuck in the
I
office.
I used to have to wear, so I started out like in the city in the 90s at Bear. And I used to have to wake up in the morning and put on a full suit with like the tie, and the tie had to be like done really nice because it was a fancy like Park Avenue firm. And I lived in Queens, so I had to take the train. I was like 22, 23 years old. I take the train in like 30-degree weather from Queens, waiting outside on this damn stuff, like the wind's going through you. You know, people are like, why you bald? I'm like, I lived some hard ass years. But what I learned in those years set me up to just, play golf and drink coffee and chill and make money. So you got to pay your dues sometimes. You probably skipped that in Tampa.
But no. I trust me. I grinded. It was really bad at one point. I don't even want to get into what pharmaceuticals we were taking, but I was working for Citi. I probably gained 30 pounds. I looked like I was pregnant, like that, because I was, you sit all day, you have coffee, eat snacks, you work 12 hours a day. But I probably gained 30 pounds. I would come, as soon as I would go get off work, we would stop and get a beer to go. So we would all get beers on the way to go. Some of my guys would bring, at the time it wasn't legal, but we'd go. So by the time, it was 8 o'clock or so, get home and everything, we'd already be messed up. And then sometimes we would go to the spot and get tapas, stay out till midnight, wake up 5:30 again, and repeat Monday through Friday. Even my like managing director, not my managing director, below him, the SVP, I mean, every night it was the same thing. It was a fun lifestyle.
I don't know, man. It's for some people. Listen, it's for some people. It certainly ain't for us.
No. Some
people like to have like that certainty of, I'm gonna get paid. It's like gonna be like this and like that. I need a salary. I don't want to have to perform. I don't have to want to kill shit to eat. I walk into it the opposite. Like I would go mental if I knew exactly what I was going to make over the next like 20 years. Like,
what happens is, let's say you make 100K, right? And you're driving let's say a Toyota. Then the next year you make 110K. Then the next year 120. Right. The next year 130K. All you're doing is going from a Toyota to a Lexus, right? Or you're living in an apartment for $4,000 a month. Now it's $5,000 a month. So it just goes up. So all the money you're making, you're just really just spending back in the economy out there when you're getting a job like that. And that's what I realized. And I had some pretty smart friends who were like, dude, like, go out in the world. Like, what are you doing here? I was getting gray hairs, bad wrinkles, all that. But anyhow.
So let's talk a little bit of markets. Like we'll talk more shit, but picture me yesterday. I'm hitting this parlay. I made some chicken cutlets for the family.
Wow.
And had a nice
on the grill?
No, fried, like Italian style, like
with the bread thin.
I pound that shit out. I pound it out. I had some veal and I had some chicken cutlets. I pounded out real thin, real nice. Bread them, soak them in egg, bread them, real nice. And so I'm hitting my parlay. I'm making cutlets for the family. Wife wasn't feeling well, so you know what, baby, I got this.
So when she scratch her back, she got you.
I scratch her back, she scratches my back. So I'm hitting the parlay, open a nice bottle of a Brunello, nice Italian, robust red wine.
Wow.
I'm sitting there, I'm drinking, hitting parlays, and then it's like 5 something. About the futures are about to open. So I start seeing currency, right? First thing I look at before S&P opens, currency is the first that opens at 3 p.m. East Coast time Sunday. So I'm starting to see that the dollar's weak, which is bullish. It's risk on. And so futures open, and I'm leaning a little bit to the bull side these days. Not China, but everything else. So I was leaning bull after, we talked last week. We were leaning bull into earnings, and we had that big day Friday. So leaning bull over the weekend, and I see the futures pop, boom. S&P goes straight into the sky. It was up like almost 1%, 100 basis points. NASDAQ was up almost 1.5%. Like sitting there, sitting pretty, a nice meal.
Everything.
I'm already like, I'm opening the Halloween candy 6 days early. Sorry, guys, you're going to show up. You're going to get nothing but peppermint patties. All the Reese's have been crushed. All the Kit Kats have been crushed. And so then the Chinese stock market opened. So now I'm kind of like 75 cents, 75% in the bag. I've been drinking a little. I'm marinated. I'm well marinated. And the Chinese market opens and it just goes boom, like complete shit show. I don't know if you saw this weekend. So Xi Jinping had his boy, who was the ex-leader, taken out like Don Corleone style. Like they're having them, like he gets him up.
Did he say he wasn't feeling well or something? He said he wasn't feeling well, or that was like what the press said out there.
Name's Hugh. So Hugh's sitting there. This dude comes up and taps him on the shoulder, and he's like, we got to go. And he's like, wait, what? It's not over yet. We're still in the middle of this conference. He gets up. Everybody's looking straight. So the other guys, the other dudes like Minion 1 and Minion 2 are just sitting there like this, looking down. They're like at a poker table and they just don't want people to look at them, right? Like they don't even look up. He looks over at Xi and Xi's like, I'm doing it. It's a power move, boss hog time. So the big implication was, and I've been saying this shit forever, and people have been like accusing me of being anti-China, not woke enough, and not PC. I mean, I have plenty of Chinese friends in the United States. They're wonderful people. They have deep, rich, old culture. They're entrepreneurs. They're hustlers.
Oh, I love the Macau boys.
Communist Party. I'm anti-communist. All right, let's get that out there. People might get sensitive about that here. I'll make a promise right now. I don't care about social politics so much, and it's not really germane or pertaining to this conversation, but I have fairly strong capitalistic opinions that I think matter to global markets. So I'm going to say them. If they hurt your freaking feelings, get over it, because you're going to hear it. You're going to hear the unvarnished truth. So people been asking, should we get China? Should we buy China? And I'm looking at you like, how are you going to buy a Chinese stock when you got a guy who's sitting here telling you, I'm more communist than we've seen in a long time in that country. I don't like capitalists. I take capitalist CEOs and I make them disappear.
Look at Jack. Remember what happened to Jack Ma? What happened to him for a while?
He had a nice little unannounced vacation. Yeah, so we've got a bear market in the United States, contrary to what some people we listen to are saying.
Are we in a bear market, Jeff? In the U.S. market, are we in a bear market?
If this ain't a bear market, what is?
Because the administration doesn't say we're in a recession. They don't seem to acknowledge.
Oh, Jean-Pierre? You mean Miss Jean-Pierre, the White House press secretary?
Oh, no, she's just, her head's way up here. She's in a different world. Apparently, she's on Mars and everything's, sunshine and roses. But I have been burned, and I'm going to lose, a few $100 this morning on Baba, but I have been burned by China so much.
Right.
And if you recall too, the China ADRs back in the day, like JD, NetEase, Baidu, they used to be great stocks, VIPs, all these names. And now they're just gone, because you have to think, they don't want any tourists. They don't want big tech. Big tech is crashing. They want control over everything. They don't want the economy booming. I mean, it is like we always say, and you look at your shirt, made in China, everything China and the US and everything, but damn, is it a shithole over there or what? Like, you can't be rich.
Well, here's the problem. You can be rich, but you got to be a communist. You got to be part of the party, right? So, and it's hard to get in the party. It's like a classes system. I think they have like, I don't know, 10,000 in a country of, 1.5 billion people or whatever it is there now. They got like 10,000 of these people. So they're like a ruling class, right? And to become one of those people is like to get the blessed, you get blessed by the Pope. Yeah. But for everyone else, it sucks. But for most of this new millennium, they've been opening up. They've been trying to deal with the West. Then this guy comes in, he comes in and he's like, I don't like y'all. I don't like what you've been doing to this country. I want to take us back. I want to take us back to Chairman Mao. I want to roll it back. I want to play, like the guy who Richard Nixon had to meet. I want to go back to those times. those kind of people. So when someone asks me long term, should I invest in China? Wow, like look at all these American companies that are cheap as shit that are getting smashed that have the same growth without that risk. Well, we might have that risk,
Well,
but it's a lot smaller.
yeah, you recall when Buffett got Baba, was it Munger? Munger got Baba, right? At like
Right.
80?
Let's look at this chart.
Or something like that.
Happened.
And now the stock's around like 69. Like even he, basically he fucked up. And like people were, the stock popped like 20%, I remember, right after that news. And now
so people are acting like, people are acting like this is like an anti-world mentality that I'm presenting, but I'm talking about money, y'all. I'm not talking about like,
That's very true, FT.
Look at this. Look at this stock. Let's go max. This is Baba.
Oh, it was a big dog when it, remember, first IPO'd?
Yeah.
It was a
Look
big
at this
dog
stock
out
though.
there.
It's back.
But
it's back to this morning in the 60s pre-market. So it's back to 2016 levels.
Even if you look at the FXI, Hang Seng, whatever it is, the China's been in a bear market for years now. And
bear markets can go on for years is the big thing, is the big takeaway.
Well, so if you acknowledge a bear market,
well, the first step to enlightenment is admitting that we know nothing, right? Let's just look at the chart. Look at this thing, though. These guys made a new low this year, right? They broke the COVID low, is what I'm saying. So COVID low on FXI was what, 33.10? And then we broke it this year. So S&P is still not doing that, right? SPY isn't doing
that. That's the scary part that you have. So I feel like there's two different people. That you have the people who think we're at a bottom right now, right? Because they say, oh, we're back to pre-COVID levels.
But they've been thinking we were at a bottom since January, Lance.
Yeah, well, because people are, that's a whole nother subject. But people think every dip should be bought. Obviously, it has not worked this year. But you have the people who think, all right, we're back to where we were before COVID, just about. This is the bottom. Stocks are going to go straight up. Whatever. Santa Claus rally. I don't know. I don't trade the indexes. I'll look at them, but I'm not like buying.
I look at them.
The SPY.
No, I use them as a proxy.
Yeah. Or if I do, I'm buying the frequent weekly calls on them, right? Or now like the daily. But then you have the other group of people who think we're going to go back to the COVID low. That's scary, because that next move down is going to be, if you thought this was painful, the way the market's moved, what is that, 200-day where we're at right now, right about? Yeah.
Yes.
If you thought this was painful, that next leg down is going to be, when you talk about doomsday, and I like all the doomsday stuff. I read the newsletters and all that, but that is going to be real doomsday. Like that is going to be a complete economic collapse, and people are going to feel so much pain. Your AMD right now, you're going to see AMD probably in the 20s if that happens.
Well, here's the thing.
You're going to see your favorite stocks just slashed.
So people are applying a, how am I saying this? There are rules that apply to a correction. So we've had multiple corrections, right? 2018 was a correction. You could say COVID was a correction, though it was a unique situation on the way to the rest of a bull market. But does this look like a correction? This looks like a company that looks like a chart that's breaking down completely, right? That doesn't look like a correction. This was a correction, but then it did this, but then it did this. So I think we're past the argument that, I've been hearing people saying, oh, you need the VIX to the explode.
VIX is broken. It's the worst indicator that one can look at.
It's useless. Yeah. This has nothing to do with what's happening in names like this.
And people want to buy VIX calls because they think the market's going to go down. Don't.
This was $160 stock at the end of last year that's trading at $58.
And
there are a lot of
Kramer's top name.
It's a great company, but this chart is broken. This is a broken chart. This is a bearish This is a bearish chart right now. I don't care what anybody says. If you look at that and don't see bearish, I'm sorry. So what does that mean, right? That means that you'll have these moves, right? But these moves are moves that you should be taking off some of your position if you have long-term money, and you could lay some shorts out. So if we look back at this cycle, it went from the July rip, right? The July rip went from $72 up to $100. That's a massive move, right? What is that? That's $30 on $70. It's nearly a 50% move.
Move nearly.
Huh?
NVIDIA, same. Everyone in the chat's talking about NVIDIA. Same horse and pony show. You know, NVIDIA is worse. Honest, I think NVIDIA was just hyped more to the upside.
NVIDIA is worse.
Yeah, because you have NVIDIA too. They got caught in the whole crypto, you know, smoke and mirrors, right? People were saying, "Oh, NVIDIA, crypto." And you look at NVIDIA, Square, all these names that had crypto exposure. They just got, you know, hammered because no one's mining crypto. In fact, no one even gives a crap about crypto anymore.
So we've got 10 minutes. So we do this show, right, Lance? We do this show from 9 to 9:30.
That's right.
We're trying to give you guys stuff to look at in the week. So we got a bit of tangent on China and then charts. And this is one of the worst sectors, but we've got this week coming where we have some big earnings.
We do, Jeff. I'm gonna make a prop bet with you. You want to make a prop bet? Or I'll make a prop bet with you or everyone in the chat.
I might like your bet, dude. Don't assume that I won't.
Okay, all right. Well, speaking of chips, so we talked about AMD and NVIDIA a little bit. Go ahead and pull up our good friend, not my good friend, but hopefully Intel. If you want to talk about the worst, Randy says, I'm only down 80% in crypto. Hey, you ain't the only one. You ain't the only one, my man. A lot of people are down that. Heck, some people are down 99%. Go ahead and pull up Intel though. Because I'm gonna
hold on a second.
I'm gonna
is
do
Intel having earnings this week?
Yeah, I think Thursday after the close. So you got to trade.
All right, let me get into the trading screen then. Let's look at some
Friday expiration. I'm long some calls, but I'm thinking of loading the boat for Intel calls. I think I'm going bottom calls. Fishing. Yeah, I think I'm going to go bottom fishing for some grouper. I'm either going to get my line broken off in the rocks, or I'm going to have a fish that I'm holding up like this.
So I always start out looking at these things by like looking at the daily chart, right? So this stock,
the word daily chart, yeah,
to have some risk reward gauge, right? So this is a $27 stock. It was a $24 stock that spent most of this year trading around $40 in the 40s, mid 40s.
So right? Back in August, that gap down, you see in August this year, that was their last earnings, and their CEO, get this, their CEO said on the conference call, this is the low of the stock. And the stock.
You never want to say that as a CEO. That's famous last words, right? It can never get worse. Those are the famous last words, and then you die, right? So you should never say shit like that. I would have sold if I heard that.
So what happened was Intel sold off $10 more to the downside, right? Never believe a CEO ever, what they say on the conference call. People lie because you have to think their net worth is in the stock, right? So obviously they want to prop up the stock. But that was the worst thing he could have said. Stock fell 10 more bucks to the downside. Now,
so let's look at this stuff. Let's look at the options.
Yeah, look at these expired. I have the 27 calls right now.
For when? This week? Weekly or 18?
What do you think? What do you think I'm going to buy? November? Yeah, I have this week. October 28th.
Okay, so that's not bad. I see why you like Intel. I see why you're looking at it, because you probably have much higher implied volatility on a NVIDIA or an AMD, right? Like nobody expects this dog to move to the upside anyways.
Right. So I bought the calls around $1. What did I pay? $1, maybe $1.20-ish or so, right around there. But we saw a buyer of if you can get the 23.5s, if you can widen the strikes there, maybe, just do like 20 or something.
Yeah.
So the 23.5, look at that, 30,000 volume. Someone bought $8.6 million worth of calls on Friday in it.
Wow.
So basically it's a stock replacement because they bought the in the money calls, you know what I mean? 23 and a half calls. I think they paid 330, 340 for them with a stock at 26. So basically it's a stock replacement trade, you know. But
yep.
I think, obviously I like that big bet, but I think it's beat down so much that any decent news could pop the stock because nobody likes it. And why would they like it? I mean, let's be honest.
So 8% is what the implied one-day move is going to be. And the earnings are on the 27th, so everybody knows. And they're expected to make 33 cents. And so if we look at let's look at the trading days. This is what Intel's done on earnings since 2020 on earnings day. Sold, Lance.
You see why I wanted a prop bet with you? I was going to make a prop bet.
Yours. No, but that's why I like to look at history too. I like to look at what it's priced at, then I like to see what's happened. I'm a statistical arbitrage guy, if nothing else.
So you have how many quarters as it sold off?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in a row. It's gotten crushed the next day, with the worst day being 16%.
So it's either go 10 for 10,
and that's including beats. Look at these beats.
I know. That's what's horrible, right?
But there's a difference. To be fair. These were all in bull markets. Right.
While Intel was not participating for years in the bull market, by the way. So
what else you got? Let's look at another stock. Let's do another one before we only got like 4 minutes.
Yeah, I think I'm going to risk a few grand in Intel calls. And then obviously they're either going to go to zero or hopefully I hit a home run. But just
you want to look at Google? Let's look at Google.
The big dog.
They're this week, aren't they?
Yeah, Google's going to move the market. I mean, move the NASDAQ, obviously a lot. What's the implied move in Google? I'm going to say $8. Because you got to figure all these Google too. You finally got that the split, and it has earnings. So
look at Google. So Google has got an implied one day move of 5.59%. If we look at the previous earnings, they've had up days mostly. Look at this. I like that. This is a beat down stock that even when they didn't beat last time, they were negative 12%. The stock was up 7%.
I think that's when they announced the reverse split and stuff.
Right.
That's why the stock caught a bit and everything like that too.
All right. So let's look around the money here. So expiring in 4 days, that's cheap. That's cheap. Because if this stock moves, it's going to move up like 7%. This is a trade I like, because you can risk these $3 to make 10. You don't think Google can move up $10?
I think I do. So Google, it's 110-ish, let's say.
Cheaper than Intel, believe it or not.
I know, the implied vol. See, I don't like that at all. I like that.
And they have a better pattern of having a pop. We only had one down quarter in the last 8.
Yeah, or you could sell. Someone mentioned bull put credit spreads. You could buy bull call spreads.
Yeah,
that's not bad implied vol. We'll see how it trades ahead of the print, but I like that setup. Or you could do too for Google. You could always do you could always do QQQ calls and stuff like that.
First of all, I like this chart pattern here. I do. You made a recent low, consolidating, made a new high, had a little bit of a pullback. It'd be great if we could get some selling right before the earnings. If we can
you have a gap up too to about what, 110, 109.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm going to look at. I think we're done, dude. I think we got to 9:30. Mike, you're not getting a strike price. We're going to be talking to you all soon about having a trade for you. It's going to be an extra show, but I hope you all like it, what we're doing. This isn't your grandma's wealth press show. We know that. We start a little slow. We talk a bit of trash. We try to have some yucks about it, but then we get into some hardcore red meat. I think I got some stuff out of you, Lance.
I did too. I want to give a heads up. We have a new Telegram channel where you get like the link and where you can join. We're on YouTube at Crush the Open. We have a team working on it. Obviously, me and Jeff don't know.
Oh, my bell's ringing. You hear that?
Oh, I just turned on the YouTube. All right, I got to go trade.
Peace. Next week, Halloween. Lance is going to dress up. I might not. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
We'll see.
Every year, the family tries to talk me into it. We'll see. LFG,
see.
guys, let's crush this week. Also, watch out for PCE. It's coming out on Thursday. It's an inflation number. So watch earnings. Watch this inflation number. That's it.
Peace.
Let's go. Peace. Thanks, Lance. Have a great day.